Transmitiendo desde Houston, la ciudad espacial, estás escuchando Now Media Radio.
Welcome. This is Speaking with an Accent, and I am Marissa Burres, and I am the founder and director of the Academy of Culture and Language. And I'm here today with a very special guest. And I have to tell you, she's gonna correct all my pronunciation today because she is my accent coach. Believe it or not, I have an accent. I don't know how that happened. But the point is that she's going to explain to us how she can help me and other people so people can understand them. And she's a very good friend of mine, and I'm going to let her talk today. Well, please help me welcome Donna Durbin.
Well, thank you, Marissa. It's really a pleasure to be here. And we all have accents, so you're not alone. Even I have an accent. So it's not that accents are a problem. It's just if they interfere with your ability to communicate and get your message across that I step in and help people learn how to modify their accents.
Oh, perfect. So I'm not alone. I like that. And we live in Houston, which is full of different cultures, very diverse city. But Donna, okay, so now that I have you here on this spotlight, I want to know more about accent and what is the most difficult accent or what is the hardest thing for people to learn when they are trying to speak better with American accent?
Well, the ones I've noticed is actually the Vietnamese and the Asian languages have more difficulty with saying the last consonant sound of each word because their language is not based on consonants. And in American English, we do have lots of consonants. So it's saying that last consonant sound.
Well, that's very important. And for me, I learned that, well, with practice. And it's true. It's like I always say the vowels. I don't know how to say that word.
It's vowel with a V. Vowel. The lip has to go under the top teeth. Vowel.
She makes me do this exercise with my muscles.
The angry dog exercise.
Yeah. But tell me something. Is it harder as you get older? Why is that?
Well, because when we're children, our muscles are not completely formed. So when we learn a second language or third language when we're children, our muscles adapt, and our ears actually, it has to do with what we hear. We can make all of the sounds more easily than when we get to be adults. So it's like teaching an old dog new tricks. You can learn how to change that, but it takes lots of conscious effort and practice to change the way you speak.
Wow. But it's possible,
yes.
Right?
Yes, it is possible. We can do that. Yes.
We can do that. And I don't consider myself old, so
no, I don't consider you old.
I can learn. But people like other accents.
Yeah.
When you speak with a person who has a very strong accent from another country, how do you explain to them that that accent is nice, is beautiful, and they need to improve so people can understand them? What do you tell them?
Well, typically people approach me. They find me because they're either having trouble with their job or they have to speak on the phone and they have to repeat themselves several times, or they feel like maybe their technical expertise is really good, but their communication skills don't quite equalize they're not quite at the same par as their technical skills. So I will step in and say, we all have accents. You'll never completely lose your accent. But if you can learn the differences between American English and your own accent and how you can change those differences, you can actually make a conscious effort to make a change.
Well, as long as you want to learn and you want to get better with the pronunciation of
That's
the
right.
words.
It's like, it's true. It's kind of like learning to play piano. And if you might take piano lessons once a week, but if you don't really want to learn and you don't practice every day, frequently, those lessons really you're not going to learn how to play piano.
Well, I know from experience, I spend time with you. I'm learning new pronunciations that I was saying totally wrong. Do you remember a particular word that I was struggling with before, and maybe now I'm saying it better?
I think the word language was one that you had trouble with. And then you started your company and you realized that was a difficult word for you. And that has to do with basically the difference between your Spanish G and our American G, which sounds like a J. And so your brain has not quite adapted yet. And so that you can make the sound, you just don't. You have to practice it many times to be able to make it on a regular basis. But you say it now.
All right. Well, I'm not going to say it
You're
right
not
now,
gonna say it
but
now.
in a few seconds, I'll repeat the name of my language.
There you
school.
go. You did it. Yay.
Now, I really very appreciative that you are here. Tell us, how did you become an accent reduction coach?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I've always liked other cultures, and basically my background was in fiber, and I was an artist. But I studied other cultures, and anytime I traveled, I would learn some of the language. So I speak a little Bahasa Indonesian, I speak a little French, Japanese, a little Italian, a little Spanish, and Thai. I lived in Thailand for 2 years. But I was teaching ESL, which is English as a Second Language, at University of Houston beginning in 2005. And then I went to live in Thailand from 2008 to 2010 and learned to speak some Thai. So sawasdee ka, kunjurai ka. And so what I could not say was the word for silver in Thai, which sounded to me like ngung, nung, something like an NG at the first of the word. But I couldn't figure out how to make that sound, and they couldn't tell me. I said, well, where on my tongue or throat, or how do I make that sound? And because they couldn't really explain that, when I came back to the States and started teaching ESL again, I realized most of our academic students knew their grammar, their reading, their writing. They were very good at that. But when they would speak, people still couldn't understand them. So I started focusing on just pronunciation and accent reduction to help them accomplish that skill so that they could go do job interviews or, network with people so that they could be more confident.
Well, when we come back from our break, we are going to talk about the intonation. And I will have many questions about that.
Okay.
It's like singing in English or other languages, like you just say in Thai.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear more about that. And basically what you're saying is that you like helping people.
Yes. I really want to equalize the playing field so that people from all around the world can accomplish the success levels that they have for themselves.
Well, I agree. I want it to be better. I want to be here so people can understand me. So that's very important because we care about others. So that's very, very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. And that's how we met. We met networking and helping people and meeting people from different cultures. And we kept bumping into each other.
We did. Well, and this was a new business for me, a new company for me. So I realized how important networking was to go out and be visible. And you are the networking queen. Oh. You are everywhere. You are everywhere. So I kept running into you in all these places, and we just started a friendship. You kept inviting me to some of your lunch and learns and your different events. So it's really been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for being here. And now I think we are ready for a little break. And when we come back, then we talk about these other amazing questions and information that I want to learn from you.
Thank you.
Have you ever seen a listing of your dream job, but it requires that you speak another language? Have you ever done a business deal with a person of a different cultural background? In today's world, most people that succeed in business as well as personal relationships are fluent in more than one language. In fact, speaking more than one language will bring you a world of opportunities to engage, communicate, interact, and ultimately thrive. At the Academy of Culture and Language, you will learn how to become fluent in the language you always wanted, gain a wealth of experience, Become a true citizen of the world, expand your career opportunities, enjoy in a fun and highly interactive environment, become more confident and creative, master business presentations, and succeed in today's global economy. At the Academy of Culture and Language, we offer great flexibility to our students while providing a practical curriculum. In fact, our students can choose to enroll in a specific class or request private lessons and tutoring. No matter your goals, your age, or your current level and skills, you can grow with our interactive fun-filled classes led by experienced instructors that assure results. Enroll today and start speaking the language you have always wanted to learn. Hi, welcome back. This is Speaking with an Accent. Again, I'm Marissa Burres. If you have any questions for us, please make sure you send me a message in my Instagram at ACA Language and www.acalanguage.com. That's my website. So now, today, we continue conversation here with my coach, my accent reduction or pronunciation coach, because I don't think my accent is gonna go away, right?
Well, no, no one will. You'll always have an accent, and that's part of who you are. So that's the unique history of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, and you will always default. If you start talking your own language again with your family or your home, you will go all the way back to before you ever had any accent reduction classes.
And you know, every time I travel, especially to a Latin American country, I start speaking with the accent of the country.
Yes.
Like I can speak Spanish from Panama, where I'm from, and if I go to Mexico, then I start speaking like with the accent from Mexico. Is that normal? Is people have told you that like immediately they get the accent? Is this something that happens?
Not everybody has that ability, so you're pretty unique to be able to adapt to that, and that has to do with your listening. You're trying to fit in, you're trying to assimilate, and so some people are more adaptable to that than others. That was one of the things I think when I learned to speak Thai, is that it's a tonal language, which was something I had never experienced, which means there's like 5 tones. It's my, is like 5 different words, like shirt, tiger, house, all these different words. And I'm like, whoa, how does that work? And so what I had to do was really listen closely to the music of their language so that I picked up where the tones were. So that's really what was one of the advantages coming back to the States and being able to kind of adapt to other people's languages and hearing the difference between what English speakers do and what native other languages do. The thing is you can ask another English speaker how they say that word or where their tongue is or what that tone is, and they won't really be able to tell you because it's unconscious. When the way we speak is unconscious. So you have to become more conscious of where your lips and tongue are and where your intonation is to change that. You're mimicking another language to learn another accent.
Is that why we use those little devices?
The mirrors, yes.
Mirrors.
I've got little mirrors because you have to look at the mirror to see your mouth to help your brain learn what to change. Otherwise, your brain can't see your mouth. So that's one of the ways of being able to reinforce the new behavior. You're trying to build motor skills and new conditioning so that you can speak differently.
Well, that's great, and it worked. Just tell me a little more how you coach. Like, why a person should hire you for coaching them. Tell us about what you do, what do you have to offer different, or how do you do that?
I think the thing that I've noticed when I've done a lot of research on all these different programs that teach accent reduction and ESL is that I have my clients do mouth and tongue exercises, which is kind of like going to the gym. If you don't exercise these muscles, you don't really change the way you speak. You can intellectually know what you're supposed to do, but until these muscles change, you won't really change that. And you have to retrain your brain and your muscles to coordinate, to work together. So that's been the thing I've seen the most progress for is when I've had, for example, what got me really excited when I was still teaching at U of H and was tutoring a young Vietnamese woman. She started doing these mouth and tongue exercises and came back the next week, and it was incredible, the progress, the change that she had already made. And so she ended up bringing back all of her friends to do it as well with her because they could hear the difference. And what I think is no one had ever really explained what it is you're trying to change to improve your speaking, like the articulation, like in Spanish speakers, and you don't have a different sound for V. You say B like very nice instead of V like very nice, which is what English. We put our lip in a different position to do the V sound.
Yes.
So it's part of it is helping you identify what those sounds are and how you can best change your speaking so that it sounds more American. You're basically learning an American accent.
It's like the Y. She taught me I was saying you instead of you. Yesterday instead of yesterday. And I have now to practice and say, and I feel more comfortable.
So what you would do is you would find lots of words that have Y in them in the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the sound, and learn how those, you'd have to repeat over and over those words so that that Y becomes an American Y instead of a Spanish Y, because you have a different sound for a Spanish Y, and your brain automatically reacts to a Spanish because you know that one more. You've done that longer than you've done the American Y. So that's part of it, is just repetition. It's like doing the repeat over and over again to help your brain go, oh, I've got a new way I have to say this. Okay.
It's also who we are with. Like, I probably would have been better in my pronunciation if somebody was correcting me all the time, which at the same time, they don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but it helps. So if somebody can remind you politely, hey, you should say this and not this, and also because they are used to other accents. Some people are used to other accents, right? Like not everybody will understand because they are not exposed to different
Well,
cultures.
most Americans only speak one language. Many Americans do not speak any other languages, and unfortunately, they're not very tolerant or very patient with it. But I tell my clients, if you are trying to improve that, give your coworkers permission to correct you, because otherwise we don't want to be impolite and correct you, but you can kind of tell if we kind of our eyes glaze over and it's like, we didn't really understand what you said. So we understand, we know that, but you have to kind of give your your friends and your coworkers permission to correct you.
Yes, that's why we have Academy of Culture and Language also to come and learn other languages. And I wanted to ask you about that. What about incorporating the culture? How important it is for what you do or when you were in other countries to adapt to the culture? That way you learn faster.
It makes it makes a lot of difference to understand what is polite in another culture, or how do you make greetings. And I know in Thailand it is their greeting is about, have you eaten yet? So it's like, or they ask you, the first thing they ask you, which was really interesting, is how old you are. And I told them, in America, we don't ask somebody, especially a woman, how old they are. But in Thailand, that's an appropriate way to find out how to address you with respect. So as I learned that, then that wasn't so shocking. But yes, it's important to know other cultures so that you understand what is appropriate in one area where it might not be appropriate for, or might not be normal for you.
It's important. The same with, they ask, are you married? Immediately.
Right.
But it's because they want to know what to ask you. They want to connect with you, and that will be probably something that is faster.
It's trying to make a connection, really. It's trying to start a conversation or a communication. I mean, America, we ask people what they do. And in some cultures, that's not really polite to ask somebody. It's kind of like asking, how much money do you make? And we don't do that.
Well, thank you for coming today. I'm going to give you a few seconds to say where we can find you.
Okay.
And if you have any special for anybody watching this show today.
Actually, I do. I'm so pleased to say that I am an online course creator now, and I've created an 8-week course on accent reduction that you can sign up, and there's 8 live webinars. But if you go to my website, www.clearenglishcoach.com, there is a 5-day free accent reduction course for you to take just to get a taste of what those courses are like. And I'm also available for private classes and group classes, but I'd love to be able to help you out if that's something you're interested in.
Thank you. We'll bring you in the future. And now we're going to have another guest after the break.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you. I've enjoyed it. Do we just stop?
Sí. Have you ever done a business deal with a person of a different cultural background? In today's world, most people that succeed in business as well as personal relationships are fluent in more than one language. In fact, speaking more than one language will bring you a world of opportunities to engage, communicate, interact, and ultimately thrive. At the Academy of Culture and Language, you will learn how to become fluent in the language you always wanted, gain a wealth of experience, become a true citizen of the world, expand your career opportunities, enjoy in a fun and highly interactive environment, become more confident and creative, master business presentations, and succeed in today's global economy. At the Academy of Culture and Language, we offer great flexibility to our students while providing a practical curriculum. In fact, our students can choose to enroll in a specific class or request private lessons and tutoring. No matter your goals, your age, or your current level and skills, you can grow with our interactive fun-filled classes led by experienced instructors that assure results. Enroll today and start speaking the language you have always wanted to learn. Welcome back to Speaking with an Accent. We are here today with another guest, another good friend of mine, and he is from Puerto Rico. And he is the director of the Outreach Center of West Houston. My friend, Jorge Quinones. Welcome, Jorge. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm very, very happy that you are here today. And also earlier I don't know if you were listening, I'm an expert in accent reduction. And I know you don't have an accent like mine, but tell me a little bit more about you, your background, where did you grow up?
So I was born in Puerto Rico, and when I was 9, we moved to New York, and I learned English with a Bronx accent, but I've been in Texas 40 years. I speak Spanish with a Bronx accent, so it's stuck.
With a Bronx accent?
Yes.
So English with a Bronx accent and Spanish with a Bronx accent?
Yes.
And a long time here in Houston?
40 years.
Oh, and tell us a little bit more about what is the Outreach Center of West Houston?
So the Outreach Center of West Houston is a small community center located near here. And I like to say it's not on the wrong side of the tracks, it's on the tracks. So I'm real close to a very affluent community, and I'm surrounded by a low-income apartment complex. And we have kids from 25 different nationalities that come to the center every day. We have a library with 8,000 books, and after school, the kids come in, and they get help with their homework, they get snacks, they play, and they're helped to break the cycle of poverty and to acculturate to being here.
Wow, and how long have you been doing that?
8 years today. Today's my anniversary.
Wow, congratulations. You're obviously doing a great job, and I know you have a magnificent team and also volunteers, right?
Yes.
So how can we help if we want to volunteer?
You can go to our website, oc-wh.org, and email me, or look in there for the opportunities, and just email me. My email address is there, but it's jorge@oc-wh.org.
And where are you located?
We're located on Bateswood Drive, 725 Bateswood Drive, and that's a block and a half from Kirkwood and Memorial Drive.
That's in Memorial. Very well, very good. I remember I went to one of your activities. They do events, and they collect money to help for the center.
Yes.
So tell us about what activities or events you have through the year.
So right now in 2 weeks we have a golf tournament on October 14th, and it's at Houston Oaks, which was recently ranked the 4th best golf course in the state of Texas, so it's a very nice event. We have an art show on November 10th. It's a free event. You can come in, look at art, buy art if you like. We'll have food trucks and music. It's a fun event. The event that you went to was our casino night, and next year.
Yes, I remember that one.
Yes, it's at the Houston Racket Club, and it's going to be on March 26th. It's a lot of fun, and it helps raise funds for the center.
So you do it every year. You try to change the activities. I'm trying to correct my accent again. Yes. Or do you do the same, so we know what to expect for next year?
So the ones I just mentioned, we do every year. The golf tournament is great, and so is the casino night. The art show is new. Last year was our first time we did it. And of course, you've been to LeaderCast. We did that. So we try to mix it up.
And how can we go and visit the center? Like, can anybody just go, or if they want to look to see if they want to be part of it, can they go?
Yes, so if you want to see the kids, come after 3 o'clock any weekday, and you'll see a bunch of kids having fun and learning. But we're open all day, including the weekend. So you can show up anytime. If you want to see me, you want to come during the week.
And how did you get involved in this community center?
Show up, take a tour. We'll give you a volunteer form. We'll interview you, see what you like, and see how we can get together.
I love helping. That's what I brought Jorge today, because I'm very passionate about education, about kids, and then you also help adults. Tell us about that program.
So the parents of the children that come to the center, especially those that don't speak English, we have English as a second language classes for them, both in the morning and in the evening. We also have citizenship classes. We had 2 people become citizens last year, and we also have basic computer education. We also have a big program for recovery groups. So we have Alcoholic Anonymous groups, 15 meetings a week, and we have a teenage drug abuse program that helps teenage kids stay sober.
Very interesting, and I love that. It's something that I like helping with too. And tell me about, how did you get involved? That's what I was trying to ask earlier in this.
So I retired young, and I was home for 10 years, and I helped a person find a job that was my predecessor. And when he left, he asked me to replace him. I was happy being retired, and my wife heard about it, and she wanted me out of the house, so she asked me to go on the interview, and I'm glad I did. It's been great for the last 8 years, so that's how I got engaged.
Very nice. And your wife also support all these events and the cost, right?
Yes.
Well, tell us about before we go, because it's almost the end of the show, if you can tell us a little bit about, one more time, about your next activity.
So the golf tournament is in 2 weeks, and if you go to our website, we can get you registered and you can get the information. But it's a scramble, so you don't have to be a very good golfer to enjoy the day and have fun. And we're going to feed you lunch and dinner, and we have door prices for everybody. And these are nice prices, like electronics, iPads, stuff like that. And everybody has a great time. You're supporting a good cause. And it's tax deductible, so you can't beat it.
Oh, wow. Well, definitely, hopefully everybody who's watching this can support, again, this activity. And if you look at the camera, just say your website one more time, and a little bit about how we can find you.
So oc-wh.org, and my phone number is 281-497-7211, 281-497-7211. Look forward to meeting you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jorge, for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
And speaking in perfect English. You know, I used to live in New York City.
Oh, really?
Yes, before I moved to Houston. So I consider myself a New Yorker at the beginning. And now, well, Houston, after so many years, like 16 here already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was there in New York for September 11.
Oh.
I was there. Well, anyway, thank you, my friends, for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
And next time we'll have more guests. Please send us your comments. Speaking with an Accent with Marissa Burres. Bye.